So, I'm still unnerved by how much, well, I mean, okay, still reduced access in the sense that few people get to actually see your comments, but at the moment I still get them through. And just now, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but that, I would say, works out about 95% stats rate over the last 30 days. Like me in the past would be about roughly about 91, 92, something like that. 95, well, I guess you're making sense to some people, but I still, where I see things, I still think that AI is going to absolutely obliterate any kind of aspect of online presence, because as more and more people start to put things together, well, the occultists are kind of committed in the direction of travel, and what most people just don't seem to get their head round is that level of commitment. I mean, for many of them, their jobs is but a facet of their lives, but their lives are absolutely intertwined with an ideology, and they live very well being puppets in the form of politicians. I mean, an example would be Rachel Reeves set to launch stealth tax raid on workers to help fill Labour's 50 billion black hole in public finances. And remember, apparently 30 billion of that, depending on what you read, is to quite literally extract the last of a very rare trace gas, which is 0.04% of the atmosphere, and store it underground. Not even use it for, like feeding plants and, plant life, which has worked very well. Anywhere you just type it in. CO2 plants. Yeah, you can rent cylinders, you can lease them for growing, various things, whatever it may be. If you're a market this or a blah, 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 that, because they know the power of CO2 to bring life to so many things. Yeah. 30 bill of that. Yeah. At least. Yeah. To create the world's largest jacuzzi, under the North Sea. But anyway, that was about 10 years ago that I did that vid. But and another one that's turning into another Wallace and Gromit type character. You do notice that when they get into that the supposed seats of power, they do age quite considerably, very quickly. But hey, they signed on the dotted line. They sold their soul. Yeah, and that smugness, honestly, wouldn't be me. And these puppets, and that's what I said, basically. Call it what it is. The civil service set to launch stealth tax raid on workers, fronted by Puppet. And that's it. That really is. You may actually be hearing a peregrine falcon in the background. One of the joys of living in the Scottish borders, which is nice. But yeah, that's the key. If people start working out they're all puppets, and if you look at part of the, well, was it Pink Floyd? Was it others? Welcome to the Machine, blah, blah, blah. And that's what it is, the civil service. That's the thing that doesn't change no matter what puppets you perceive you voted for. That's the thing. That's the key. Yeah? And remember, this is about wealth extraction for the many to literally have themselves replaced by, well, dinghy surfers and all the rest of it, of which by vast amounts of propaganda we're told that are all rocket scientists and doctors. And even if you believed any of that pish, think about this. Why would you take away from what is perceived as third world nations professionals that would benefit these third world nations? No, let's bring them across to the UK. Seriously. To look after our old folk, which nobody else wants to look after, blah, 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 and so many other things, yeah? And remember, they're apparently immune to the detrimental effects of old age over time. Our invited and uninvited guests. I mean, the level of this, and there it is. And remember, all those puppets, no matter who you look at in Scotland, the Nicola Sturgeons, they always go on to live a great life. They don't have to worry about bills, roof over their head, expenses. They get to do book deals. They go on circuits for, various things with think tanks and, after dinner speeches. The whole works. Seriously. Yeah. It's the civil service. Name the Western nation. Name the country. No matter what changes, the civil service doesn't. It's the civil service that's doing this. They're just puppets. And now you're starting to see more of the machine. And I'll speak to you soon.